Hello dear all, welcome to mathsg.in, and at mathsg.in we say you are the genius whatever class you are in, whether in class 10 or class 4 or you are in engineering. If you are getting your concepts and ideas clearly and you are getting the techniques to use to do solve the problems swiftly and quickly and doing a lots and lots of practice on that one, gradually you are a genius at your level. That is how the slogan goes by. And thanking you all, let's come up with a video of a class 10 where we are talking of coordinate geometry. Coordinate geometry of class 10. Okay, so under here what we discuss is that in case of coordinate geometry, what you say, there is a Cartesian plane. We will discuss about all these names, you can get this. There you have got two axes, plural of axis. This one is the x axis, you give x and x prime is the name, and this one is the y axis, the vertical one, and the opposite is the positive direction y, and this is y prime. This place is the point, this point of intersection is the point where you say you get 0 0. So whenever you get a point on this plane, whether here or here or here or here, these points have some coordinates attached to them to locate the point on the plane. How much will you travel to get this point on the x-axis? How much distance will you travel to get this point on y-axis? That is the coordinate. So let's say you travel 3 centimeters on x-axis and 2 centimeters on y-axis. The coordinates of the point will become 3, 2. And let me iterate this, that this is an ordered pair. Ordered pair. So there is a good meaning to understand what is ordered pair. Simply an ordered pair means, let me exemplify exactly over here in under this topic. So let's say you get another point after traveling 2 centimeters on this x-axis and 3 centimeters on y-axis. Where do you reach? You reach here. This point, we are talking of this particular point, and before this we were talking about this particular point. Correct? You were reaching like this and like this. So traveling 2 centimeters on x-axis and 3 centimeters on y-axis, you get this point. So that is 2, 3. Now can you see the difference? The difference is simply these 2 points are having different locations only because the 2 3 3 2 has been altered. So 2 3 is not equal to 3 2 in coordinate geometry because they are ordered pairs. Do remember about this. So this is known as a Cartesian plane. Take the spelling from the book. We at mathsg.in never let you mug it up. So we do not write the whole word so that you remember it. You will have to find and do the practice again and again to understand. So there, in case of a Cartesian plane, we simply say, let's say the screen of the tablet is a Cartesian plane. A screen or paper is a Cartesian plane. Any plane you talk, it's called Cartesian plane. That is otherwise not known as a 2D representation. If we have any another axis attached to it, let's say some box we are talking of. So in case of the box, it is also having one more thing is there, height. So if we are having the height as well, then we'll be calling this box as a 3D box. So piece of paper 2D and a geometry pencil box is 3D. We will talk about that 3D in class 11. So now we are coming back to 2D, which is in class 10 under coordinate geometry. What are the coordinates? Now coordinates are the markings where you find a particular point on the plane. So it's an ordered pair. So x prime, y prime. x-axis, otherwise known as abscissa, and as the y-axis known as ordinate. At the point, the ordered pair you get for x-axis and y-axis are known as the coordinates of the particular point. And coordinates is always an ordered pair of numbers that we discussed right now. I reiterated that one. Now let's go for this thing particular. So we are having the Cartesian plane over here. Now what we do is that we find the distance between 2 points. So let's say one point, the coordinates are x1 and y1, and the other point is having the coordinates x2 and y2. So what is that distance? We will be finding out what this distance is. So to find this distance, simply what we see is that this point is after traveling x1 distance on the x-axis and traveling y1 distance in y1 distance in y-axis. So this one you get. Then this point is got by traveling x2 distance on x-axis and y2 distance on y-axis. So this total distance is y2. This total distance is x2. So this particular distance is nothing but x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1. So this is the region. Clear? And similarly, this particular distance, what we'll get is that here. This one is nothing but y2 minus y1. So this particular region, how do we get it? y2 minus y1. So this is y2 minus y1. Now if we imagine this particular distance as the hypotenuse of a right angle triangle drawn like this, correct? Then it is nothing but the h, what we want to find. This one is the b for base, this is the p for perpendicular. Now we have got the length of the base, we have got the length of the perpendicular. So we can easily calculate the h by the Pythagoras theorem. H square is equal to p square plus b square, correct? And here p square is y2 minus y1. So we get the square of that one. Clear? Plus b square. B is this x2 minus x1 whole square. So that implies h is how much? The square root of x2 minus x square plus y2 minus y square, or y2 minus y square plus x2 minus y square, whatever order you may follow. This is unordered pair. You can say like this. These two operands in the arithmetic operation plus over here are unordered, means any way you can write. Now you can easily understand. So let's go to the next section. The last section is the finding the ratio. So these are the easier concepts I am letting you know, and rather later we will discuss about the different problem solving techniques. So this is the origin. The coordinates are 0, 0. This is the x direction, x prime direction, y direction, the positive vertical direction, x prime, the negative vertical direction. Now there is a particular line over here. Let's say the endpoints of it are having the coordinates x2, y2 on the farther side and x1 and y1 on the closer and nearer side. So these are the two endpoints. Let's say there is another point over here, let's say P, which is dividing these two lines in the ratio, let's say m1 and m2. Then how to find the coordinates of the point P? Now simply the x coordinate of the point P will be m1 into x2, m2 into x1 sum divided by the ratio sum. Let me show you that one. So we are trying to find, let's say, capital X and capital Y. So capital X is the coordinate of the point P. So that is will be found out cross multiply, you can say. The ratio on this side is to be multiplied with the coordinates on the other side, farther side. The ratio M2 with which this line is being divided by the point is to be multiplied with this side. This is the logic. If you do not draw the diagram, you will not be able to recollect the formula. So always we say draw and use your right brain. You are always writing and using your left brain, so it will develop your power, let's say. So now let me come to, so as we discussed, m1 is to be multiplied by x2 and m2 is multiplied by x1. If I write x1 first, then x2 next, then I will be writing m2 x1 plus m1 x2 divided by m1 plus m2. Similarly, the y coordinate of the point P will be m2, this one, y1, and m1 y2 का sum m2 y1. I made a mistake over here. You must commit these mistakes while practicing. नहीं करोगे मिस्टेक तो कैसे करेक्शन होगा? बार बार करो, बार बार मिस्टेक करो और हम देखेंगे क्या मिस्टेक हुआ. सो ऑटोमेटिकली योर ब्रेन बिकम्स अवेयर ऑफ द मिस्टेक्स, सो वो नहीं करेगा ग्रेजुअली. सो द डिस्टिंक्शन निकालना बिटवीन करेक्ट एंड मिस्टेक के लिए बहुत सारा प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ता है. तो ये डायग्राम बार बार करेंगे, 4 बार 5 बार, एंड यूर यंगर किड्स, आपको जल्दी याद आता है. सो द कोऑर्डिनेट्स ऑफ द पॉइंट्स which was dividing the line, okay, at the particular point P are this and this. And let me reiterate, how did you get it? By multiplying this ratio on the other side coordinates and the ratio on this side with the coordinates of the further side. m2 x1 plus m1 x2 by m1 plus m2. m2 y1 plus m1 y2 divided by m1 plus m2 are the coordinates of this point P. Now think of the case, if this ratio is equal. Let me tell you, give you the case. Can you guess what am I talking about? m1 and m2 are same. This is the origin 0 0 coordinates. There is a line over here. The coordinates on the farther side are x2 y2, let's say, and the end of the point at the other end of the line is x1 y1, let's say, and the point which is dividing the two lines, dividing them with equal ratio, means ये अगर m है तो ये भी m है. तो मैं वही m1 और m2 लिख रहा हूँ, बट एक चीज मेंशन कर रहा हूँ, m1 इज इक्वल टू m2. और हमने बात की थी इसके कोऑर्डिनेट्स जो होंगे x एंड y, जो p पॉइंट है उसके क्या होंगे, तो उसके हमने ऑलरेडी कर चुके थे कि x जो था हम लिखे थे m1 इस साइड पे मल्टीप्लाई होगा और m2 उस साइड पे मल्टीप्लाई होगा. करेक्ट. सो m2 x1, ये m2 x1 प्लस m1 x2, m1 x2 by m1 plus m2 था. क्लियर. Now replace all these m1 m2s by one particular thing m, क्योंकि they all are equal. So mx2 mx1 m plus m. So what does it make? mx2 plus mx1 whole divided by m plus m. On the numerator we can take the common m and x1 plus x2, and in the denominator we get 2m. Now look at m and m being cancelled out. So what we left with is x1 plus x2 by 2. What is that? Now that is the x coordinate of the point P, which is dividing the lines in equal ratios, means it is the midpoint. So similarly, you can easily just check out that the y coordinate of this point will be nothing but y1 plus y2 whole divided by 2. These are the two coordinates. And till you do not draw these diagrams, till you do not calculate these things, you will have to mug up these formulas as separate formulas. Ki by x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2, and उधर उससे पहले में किए थे m2 x1, तो ये अलग अलग फॉर्मूले की तरह कैलकुलेट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. उसी m1 और m2 वाला जो था केस, ओके, तो वो m1 m2 को हमने खाली रिप्लेस कर दिए बाय ए कॉमन लेटर m, which is nothing but a equal constant. Just keep on drawing these things once and again. So what you do is that draw. हम मैथ्स जी में बोलते हैं कि मैथमेटिक्स करना है तो बेटा ड्रॉ करो. रादर इंग्लिश एसएसटी के लिए भी आप ड्रॉ करो. ड्राइंग करने से आपके जो ब्रेन के दो हेमिलोब्स हैं, जिसमें एक लेफ्ट साइड और राइट साइड रहता है. लेफ्ट साइड अंडरस्टैंड द टेक्स्ट, राइट साइड अंडरस्टैंड द इमेजेस एंड वीडियोस. सो आप खाली लेफ्ट यूज़ कर रहे हो मतलब ऑल द टाइम रीडिंग एंड राइटिंग, रीडिंग एंड राइटिंग. एंड अगर आप 80% स्कोर कर रहे हो, राइट ब्रेन भी यूज़ करो ना, अनदर 80% आपको मिल जाएगा. Thanking you all. This is Jeet from mathsjit.in, and you are the math genius. Think of that, keep doing that, you'll become one.